guys, it's Izzy here, and we are filming in a different location because my other camera, I didn't charge the battery pack. It's all on me, blame me, and so I have to film on my vlogging camera. So we're sitting on the floor and everything, even have like a mirror there. But I do think this lighting does look pretty decent because we have the natural lighting, we have the studio lights, we have the ceiling light. We have a lot of light going on. I do have clothes on. But we're doing a book haul today, looking at all the books that I bought this month. I bought like 16. I was allowed to buy 17 because I buy as many books as I finished in the previous month. And I do want to excuse noise of kids playing outside, lawnmowers. It is summertime, and those are nice noises because they're happy noises, but I know they can be a little distracting. So my apologies if you find that distracting. But that's just how it is. So let's get into the haul. We're gonna start with like my most recent purchases, then going to the like least recent. So the most recent purchase is Tell Me Everything by Minka Kelly. This is her memoir. Now, I did not watch Friday Night Lights or whatever. That just didn't appeal to me. And I have only seen her on Euphoria, and she's literally only on like 2 episodes. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of wasting her because I feel like she's such a big name, and then they do her just for that little bit. I don't know, but I saw excerpts of this book on Reddit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know all that happened to her. So it's really just going into the actress's childhood and how her childhood shaped her as a person, and I got it for 30% off at Target. The next one is a new release that I got from Amazon, and that is The Guest by Emma Cline. I think this is going to be like the perfect summer read. This takes place on Long Island. We have a character, Alex. So she's been staying on the east end of Long Island and then kind of gets booted from where she's staying. So it's how she doesn't want to go back to the city yet, so she's just trying to make ends meet basically on Long Island. And so I think this is going to be a lot of like beach and drifting, and I just think those are 2 things that scream summer, and I totally just hit myself in the face with the book. The next one is another like really summery that I also got for 30% off at Target, and that is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I really do not know what this book is about because Emily Henry, I read Book Lovers, and I'm like, that might be the best romance book I've ever read, so I'm gonna buy anything she writes. And at Target you do get bonus content. So let's find out together what this book is about. So Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls, except now for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends, which is how they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade, their annual respite from the world, where for one vibrant, blissful week, they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand the most. That sounds amazing. Only this year, Harriet and Wynne are lying through their teeth while trying not to notice how desperately they still want each other because the cottage is for sale. This is the last week they'll all have together in this place. They can't stand to break their friends' hearts, so they'll play their parts. Harriet will be the driven surgical resident who never starts a fight, and Wynne will be the laid-back charmer who never lets the cracks show. It's a flawless plan if you look at it from the great distance to repair sunscreen-smeared sunglasses. After years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for 1 week in front of those who know you best? So we have a lot of tropes that usually don't go together. We have fake dating, but it's kind of like second chance romance in a way, and then it seems like we're in a small town because, to me, everything in Maine is small. I don't know. I've never been there, but that's how I picture it. And then we have another new release, and this is another one that is an auto by author for me, and that's Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. So this is like her first array outside of fantasy because I love R.F. Kuang's fantasy books. And one is a 5-star prediction for me, Babel, that I plan to read later in the summer. So this is like contemporary thriller, kind of mixing themes there, where there's like a writer duo to my understanding, and one of them dies, and so this woman fakes being Asian American and I think it's Asian American. I'm not, yeah, Asian American. So she publishes a book that is basically about the history of Asian Americans and all of that, because she's like, it's good just to get the message out there. Who cares who's sending it? But she uses an author image that isn't her. And yeah, so it's just a lot of catfishing, but in an extreme sense of the word. Okay, we have another Target purchase here that was 30% off, and this is another 2023 new release. So this is The Secret Book of Flora Lee by Patty Callahan Henry. So this is when a woman stumbles across a mysterious children's book. Long-held secrets about her missing sister and their childhood spent in the English countryside during World War II are revealed. And hold on, let me show y'all these in pages. I'm sorry the strap keeps falling. I can never get straps to stay on my shoulder, and it's not adjustable. But look at those end pages, so beautiful. And this is actually a local author as well, or she lives here now, and that just is like an era that I'm really fascinated by, setting I'm fascinated by, and then I like when there's like dual timelines. It seems like it's going to be in here. So then we have my book of the month picks. So my add-on was The History is on Fire by Rachel Beanland. This is a historical fiction taking place in Richmond, Virginia. So this is a historical fiction about an incendiary tragedy that shocked a young nation and tore apart a community in a single night, told from the perspectives of 4 people whose actions changed during the inferno. Changed the course of history. So I don't know, I've never heard of this event happening. It's in Richmond in 1811, and we know that city plays a huge part in the Civil War, which is decades later. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of connection there, but I wanted to read something set in that time period because that's a very unique time period that I don't read a lot about. But then my pick for this month was Did You Hear About Kitty Karr by Crystal Smith Paul. So a multi-generational saga that traverses the glamour of old Hollywood and the seductive draw of modern day show business. And I saw the movie Babylon and I was like, I want something that takes place in like the silent film era of Hollywood. Now this one doesn't. This is 1950s Hollywood, but I mean, I feel like that's as close as I'm going to get until I got some recommendations from Reddit, which will be, you have to watch the vlog that comes out on Friday. But this is when Kitty Karr Tate, a white icon of the silver screen, dies and bequeaths her multi-million-dollar estate to the St. John sisters, 3 young wealthy black women. It prompts questions, lots of questions. So there's that. And this is another new release that I got at Target, and that is Clymenestra by Cotanza Cassidy. So this is obviously about Clymenestra, a retelling all about her. I read Electra by, I am blanking on the name, and I donated that book recently, so I don't have it here to see. Jennifer Saint, maybe. That book was fine, but I really liked Clymenestra's point of view in it, so that made me want to read a book that was just about Clymenestra. And luckily, a book about Clymenestra came out this year. And yeah, it's Jennifer Saint because she literally blurbed it. I have had a hard time with Greek mythology retellings in the past, so hopefully this one is not too difficult for me. Then we have one that I ended my subscription with, the Unplugged book box. Books magically keep appearing. This one magically appeared. It came after I canceled my subscription, so I don't know what all that's about. But this one actually sounds interesting, and this is Fenian Street by Anne Emery, a mystery. I always have a hard time with Irish names. People come for me. I'm sorry, like I'm admitting I have a hard time. So if you're gonna be triggered about how I pronounce it, at least tell me in the comments nicely how to pronounce it, and I won't make the mistake again. But we had these beautiful end pages, or edges. Here's what the book itself looks like. Very beautiful. And then we have a map of Dublin as our end pages. So let's see, what is this about? Oh, that is such a tiny font. So Shay Rain grew up in the Corporation Flats public housing in Fenian Street, Dublin. He has always toyed with the idea of joining the Garda Síochána, the Irish police, but in the early 1970s, young fellows from the tenements of Dublin have not been welcomed in the police force. When his friend Rosalind is killed and the case goes unsolved, Shay decides to put on the uniform of a Dublin Garda and sets out to find the killer. But I I'm fascinated by Ireland at this time because we had the Troubles going on and all of that. So I think this is a really neat backdrop to have for a thriller. This one is, once again, another new release that I had pre-ordered, and that is The Castle Keepers. And it has 3 authors, Amy K. Runyon, Janelle Cielski, and Rachel McMillan. So it's Leeswick Castle has housed the Alan Wick family in the English countryside for generations, despite a family curse determined to destroy their legacy and erase them from history. So we have timelines in 1870, 1917, and 1945. So Victorian, World War I, World War II, and it's just, I love, like, this sounds straight up like something I would love, something that I would want to write, but I have a hard time getting ideas down on paper, so I just have to read other books that sound similar. So then we have my Barnes & Noble picks. So they've had a Southern fiction table at Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, I want to read every book on that table because I love Southern fiction. So I picked up A Land More Kind Than Home by Wiley Cash. So for a curious boy like Jess Hall, growing up in Marshall means trouble when you get caught spying on grown-ups. Adventurous and precocious, Jess is protective of his older brother Christopher, a mute who everyone calls Stump. Though their mother has warned them not to snoop, Stump can't help sneaking in a look at something he's not supposed to, an act that will have repercussions. It's a wrenching event that thrusts Jess into an adulthood for which he's not prepared. He now knows that a new understanding can bring not only danger and evil, but also the possibility of freedom and deliverance. So that sounds like it's going to be good. Then I got The Summer Before the War by Helen Simpsonson. So this is in East Sussex, 1914. I love reading about World War I, and I just haven't been able to find a ton of historical fiction on it. So I had to grab this right away. And I'm wanting to read about like the home front at the time, not like actually in the war. I want to know what people at home were doing, and this one seems like it's going to give me that. So then we have 4 books that I ordered on Amazon. So they're just books that are on sale, and usually on Amazon I buy the books used. We'll just have to see if some of these are used or not. This one doesn't look used, but sometimes you can buy used books and they look like they've never been open. So this is Disappearing Earth by Julia Phillips. I've had this on my TBR a really long time, but just have not got around to buying it, and it is a National Book Award finalist. My infected fingernail, but also look. So on one August afternoon, 2 sisters, Sophia 8 and Aliona 11, go missing from a beach on the far-flung Kamchatka Peninsula in northeastern Russia. So it takes through the year that follows. After that, we go from like Japan, Alaska, but this setting I have always been really interested in. Like, I look at this part of the world on Google Maps just because it's so foreign and it's so much a frontier. There's not a lot out there, so that's what really drew me in. Then I bought, this one is used right here, but I bought a book by Neil Young that's all about like just music, like the technical side of music. And I was like, I want to read a memoir on this man because he is such a fascinating person. So I found his memoir, and this is Waging Heavy Peace by Neil Young. So just all about Neil Young's life. It is quite long, but I mean, he is pretty old, so it being over 500 pages is understandable. But and he's just gone through a ton of experience, but great songwriter, so hopefully that translates well to not novel writing. Another new release that I actually got last month, and it didn't release till this month, so I got it early, and that is An American Beauty by Shanna Abe. This actually takes place in Richmond, Virginia as well, but in 1867. So is that after the Civil War? I don't know when the Civil War ended, but this is spanning New York's, oh wait, that's about her other book. So this is, though she wears the same low-cut purple gown that is the uniform of all girls who work at Worsham's gambling parlor, Arabella stands apart. It's not merely her statuesque beauty and practiced charm. Even at 17, Arabella possesses an unyielding grit and resolve to escape her background of struggle and poverty. So it looks like she gets involved with a railroad baron, which in this time period, there's money to be made there, so I respect that. But An American Beauty brings to vivid life the glitter and drama of a captivating chapter in history, and a woman who lived by her own rules. We love when women and people in general live by their own rules, because that is what you should do. That is feminism to me, doing whatever you want. And yeah, so as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else. So then my last one is Eileen by Otesha Mosfeg. I read My Year of Rest and Relaxation. It's up there somewhere, but I read that last month and loved it. So I wanted to pick up her other books, and this is the like main one, her most popular one, and it has a PEN Hemingway winner. So the Christmas season offers little cheer for Eileen Dunlop, a young woman trapped between her role as her alcoholic father's caretaker in a home whose squalor is the talk of the neighborhood, and her day job as a secretary at the boys' prison filled with its own quotidian horrors. Consumed by resentment and self-loathing, Eileen dreams of escaping to the big city. In the meantime, she fills her nights and weekends with shoplifting, stalking a buff prison guard named Randy, and cleaning up her increasingly deranged father's messes. When the bright, beautiful, and cheery Rebecca St. John arrives on the scene as the prison's new counselor, Eileen is enchanted and proves unable to resist what appears at first to be a miraculously budding friendship. In a Hitchcockian twist, her affection to Rebecca ultimately pulls her into complicity in a crime that surpasses her wildest imaginings. Whoa! But those are all of the books that I bought in May. I don't plan to buy anything else. I mean, who knows? I go to Target tomorrow and I go there, I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything, and then I end up buying stuff. So I could buy one more, so stay tuned for the vlog that comes out on Friday if you want to know if I buy anything else. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a car emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!